Many consider them to be the most beautiful Ferrari ever made, with its elegant, sleek styling remaining timeless. Only 36 of them were ever made, making them extremely rare. And of these 36 units, one in particular is the holy grail of crown jewels, a specific Ferrari 250 GTO, worth way more than the rest of them. The 250 GTO in question, with the identification number 4153 GT, is a 1963 model that made history for being the most expensive car ever sold, having been sold for an incredible $70 million. But before we talk about this special car, let's talk about why this model is so revered and expensive. To put this in terms of analogies, not every music fan can decide between the Beatles and Stones being history's greatest rock band. Nor can every sports fan decide between Messi and Ronaldo being the greatest ever soccer player. But in the car world, the GTO has become the greatest of all time, the GOAT. And this fact is able to be measured easily, far and away in dollars and cents. American magazine Motor Trend Classic placed the 250 GTO first on a list of the greatest Ferraris of all time, while the Popular Mechanics magazine named it the hottest car of all time. The first Ferrari 250 GTOs were produced from 1962 to 1964, and when new, were selling for $18,000, which was an astronomical price at the time, and each buyer had to be personally approved by Mr. Enzo Ferrari himself. Only 36 were ever produced, and they dominated racing during their day, winning more than 300 races combined through that 2-year span. As for how the Mona Lisa of cars performs, the 250 GTO is fitted with a 3-liter V12 engine and a new 5-speed transmission to replace the 4 that Ferrari had been using for years, which gives it more than 300 horsepower, a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 6.1 seconds, and a top speed of more than 174 miles per hour, so it's quite easy to see how it had a strong winning record in the 60s. The exterior has an all-aluminium bodywork with a long nose, small radiator inlet, and distinctive air intakes on the nose with removable covers. As for the interior, it was designed quite minimally, reflecting the car's racing intentions. There is no speedometer, seats are cloth upholstered, and neither carpeting nor a headliner was installed. Not only was it designed beautifully, but it rides as good as it looks. It was the last of the line of front-engine Ferrari racing cars, and the last Ferrari ever made that was not only a winner on the track, but also an easy-to-handle, road-legal car, making it the most sought-after classic car because of its perfect blend of looks, rarity, and performance on both the track and public roads. As for how the name 250 GTO came to be, the 250 is for the cubic centimeter displacement in each of the 12 cylinders, GT for Gran Turismo, and O for omologato, the Italian word for homologation. And given the fact there's only 36 units ever produced, being able to buy one is quite a feat that almost no one will ever be able to do due to its rarity. But if you are able to buy one, you'll be in elite company, as the exclusive club of GTO owners includes Ralph Lauren, Pink Floyd drummer Nick Mason, and Walmart heir Rob Walton. But let's talk about this specific GTO, Unit 4153 GT. Let's talk about why it's worth what it is, because it's not just well preserved, but also has a legendary racing background to go with it. It's best known for being raced by Écurie Francochamps, one of the most iconic and famous independent Ferrari teams, and going on to win the 1964 Tour de France, one of the world's most famous and historic motor races. Also, it had a 4th place finish at the 1963 24 Hours of Le Mans, the world's oldest active sports car race in endurance racing, held annually since 1923 before being retired in 1965. Those are the highlights of its racing background attached to it, and as for its preservation, it has been surprisingly near perfect. Despite the fact that this Ferrari 250 GTO competed in a string of racing disciplines including hill climbs, track races, and long-distance road rallies, as well as having a winning record on the track, it has actually never crashed, unlike many other GTOs. It also retains its original bodywork and engine, which is a rarity for cars that have raced extensively. The car was originally painted the de facto Ferrari red color we've